And now it's Happy Friday, August the 2nd, Hebrews 11:23-29. By faith, after he was born, Moses was hidden by his parents for 3 months because they saw that the child was beautiful, and they didn't fear the king's edict. And by faith, Moses, when he had grown up, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter and chose to suffer with the people of God rather than enjoy the fleeting pleasure of sin. For he considered a reproach for the sake of Christ to be greater. Let me back up. For he considered reproach for the sake of Christ to be greater wealth than the treasures of Egypt. And since he was looking ahead to the reward, those greater treasures of God, you see, he by faith left Egypt behind, not being afraid of the king's anger. For Moses persevered as one who sees him who is invisible. Moses lived as if he saw God. By faith, he instituted the Passover and the sprinkling of the blood so that the destroyer of the firstborn might not touch the Israelites. And by faith, they crossed the Red Sea as though they were on dry land. And when the Egyptians attempted to do this, they were drowned. I have loved this passage this week. I have enjoyed studying this passage this week. I admit that a few weeks from now, when I get to preach this passage, it's going to be a great Sunday. You see, we see in this passage faith's movement forward. And I love that God's laid it out for us, that His work through the ages, we see what God has accomplished and revealed in the Bible. From beginning to end, God has shown us who He is. He has revealed Himself to us. We see God. We see what He has done. We see those who have believed and how that has had an impact on their lives, but not just on their lives, on the lives of all those around them. Think of the first act of faith, or the lack thereof. In the garden, Adam and Eve. God said, don't eat that fruit or you will die. Satan said, you'll surely not die. They had faith in Satan's words instead of God's words. That's had an impact in all of history. In this passage, this week, we see Moses and his family believing God. And we know how that impacted them. We know how it impacted the Israelites. We know how it's impacted the rest of the world. Here's our challenge. How is the world impacted by our faith? It's a really big question. Will my faith today change the world? Will something that I do today, some step of faith that I take, just Bobby, believing God, what impact will it have? Will it change the world? It's a challenge for us to live by faith. That's our challenge, to live by faith. We'll see you next week. Take care.